Yeah, the camera follows my face. Well, it's kind of cool. Alright guys, presentation is on. S&C is no longer optional for the swimmers. Okay? It's by me, I'm the head of performance, I own the company, I can call myself what I want, realistically. But head of performance sounds nice. That's the story about me from back in the day, okay? I'll send the slides out if you would like to read my backstory that I've already explained to you, go for it. There's a bit more about me, that's that stuff from before, okay? But this is what I'm about, okay? Like, I want to give all swimmers access to elite services, opportunity and support so they can realise their potential, okay? There is nothing on there about making many Olympians, okay? The amount of Olympians that we ever get in our program does not concern me. The amount of swimmers who we give more opportunity to so they can swim to whatever goal they would like to the best of their ability is what I'm about. And making sure that you guys have the same equal opportunities as everyone else. Does that make sense to you all? Yeah. If you haven't got that by now, you probably haven't been listening. Okay? Now, some of you guys are in the gym. Okay? Some of you guys aren't. And that's great. What are some of the misconceptions that you may have heard? There are some on the board, but try and use ones that aren't there. When you think about strength training for swimming, what are some of the reasons that people have told you not to do it? Has anyone ever told you not to do it? Yeah.
Gyms are for sweats.
Gyms are for sweats. What's a sweat?
Someone that tries too hard.
Okay, I've learned something new today.
What's that?
A sweat. A sweat, for everyone listening at home, is someone who tries too hard. And the gym is for sweats.
Ah.
No, I don't agree with that.
No. I'm not saying he agrees with it at all. That's something that he has heard, and that's fine. Okay? Anybody else got anything? Yep.
It could be training with the wrong muscles.
Training the wrong muscles, making yourself worse. Yep. Next.
Like, don't just go to the gym for nothing.
You go to the gym for nothing.
Socialising at the gym.
Oh, they're just faffing around? Yeah, fair enough. These are the main ones that have popped over the last, since 2012. I can't even remember how long that is anymore. Strength training will make you feel heavy.
12, 13.
There you go, 12 years, yeah.
12,
12, 13 years. Strength training will make you feel heavy. Building muscle will make you slow. You need to do exercises that replicate swimming. Personal favourite of mine that I hate. The gym causes injuries. All you need is bodyweight exercises. And you guys have just given me some other ones, okay? Has anyone ever heard any of those? 4 of them? Yeah. Anyone heard any of those before?
Yep.
Okay, I'm about to bust them wide open for you. Okay? The reality, strength training only makes you heavy if you train to make yourself heavier. Okay? So, for example, if you go into the gym and you train to become really bulky and really heavy, you will become really bulky and really heavy. And then you will feel really bulky and really heavy in the water. Does that make sense? If you go to the gym to train yourself to be more stronger, more powerful, more faster, with better range of motion, you're probably going to feel better in the water. Does that make sense? Does that logic make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Just like if you swim in the water and you want to be a sprinter and you do distance training the whole time, do you think you're going to be a good sprinter?
No.
Probably not. Or you're probably less likely to be good at sprinting. Does that make sense? You get what you train for. Okay? The next one. What was the next one? Building muscle will slow you down. Cool. Muscles are the engines that make you produce force. Okay? Swimming, at the end of the day, is about producing more force with less resistance than the person next to you. Okay? If we can increase the size of our muscles and increase the power outage of our muscles by increasing the size, okay, do you think we will have more force to apply to the water, potentially?
Yeah.
Not a trick question. Yes. Does that make sense? So it won't slow you down unless you train for it to slow you down. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Okay. The specific replication of movements argument. Have any of you guys, I'm assuming you guys are mostly on social media and stuff like that. I don't know if swimming is something that pops up in your algorithm. it doesn't mind, but you see a lot of people like with bungee cords and stuff like that trying to do swimming mechanics outside of the water. Has anyone ever seen that before?
Yeah.
Yeah? And they're like, this is swimming specific training. That might be a swimming specific warm-up, but it's not strength training. Okay? If that's the core essence of all your strength training, you've missed the point and you're going to miss out on a lot of gains. Okay? It can help you. Okay? Everything works. But if you just focus on making sure everything looks the same as what you're doing in the water, you are going to not get the results you want. Okay? A whole lot of principles behind that I won't go into right now with you guys because it's probably its own presentation. Okay? And we'll probably get into it later. Sound good? Also, there's nothing more specific than you actually swimming. If you guys understand that. Yeah? If you think about specific training, the most specific thing you can do is swimming. Not trying to do swimming in a foreign environment that isn't the water. Does that make sense? And that sounds like a reasonable way of talking about it. Excellent. You're more likely to get injured in the gym. There was a study in the US, because they have a lot of kids in the gym, because they're all about gym work and stuff like that, that showed that training in a gym was actually less like, out of all the activities you could do, was the least likely one to make you get an injury. Anyone want to know why?
Me.
Yeah, cool. Was you answering or you just want to know why? You want to know why? Because a gym can be a very controlled environment. You normally have someone supervising you, making sure you're doing it right. Okay? And it's normally in a small group setting. Okay? So, and the program is deliberately designed around you and what you need to get out of it, when it's done correctly, right? The pool, for example, how many kids do you have in a lane?
Too many.
Lots. How many coaches do you have? 1 to 2. It's a pretty big ratio. Yeah? Also very chaotic. How can I control? It's very hard to control exactly the movements that everyone's doing at once. Does this all make sense to you?
Yep.
So the gym is actually quite a safe place when done safely. Okay? Body weight exercises. Yeah. The body weight, you only need body weight exercises. Has anyone known that before? Everyone heard that? You might just be able to just do lunges until you get strong. At some stage, your body weight will no longer give you a stimulus to get stronger, so you'll just stay the same. If you add a weight to it, you make yourself heavier, and you push against that weight, you then have to get stronger to manage that weight. Does that make sense? That is progressive overload. That is how this thing works. You progressively give yourself more and more resistance to make yourself stronger. Sound good? Good. Here is how we work at Formidable. Okay? I haven't actually mentioned my own company yet. I am the owner of Formidable Strength and Conditioning. The shirt and stuff. Okay? Thank you very much for that.
Did you create it?
These are the, what?
Did you create it?
Yeah, I did. Here are our 3 pillars of how we do our strength training and how we do our dry land work, okay? First of all, we always make sure that swimming is the key focus. You will not get better at swimming without being in the water. Therefore, my job as a strength conditioning provider is to make sure I can keep you in the water as much as possible and to the best of your ability. Hence that dry land presentation that we just did was very much focused around that. How can we make you feel better in the water? Instead of how can I make your dry land really hard? Do you see that difference? Good. Pillar number 2, strength training with purpose. Okay? If you are doing some strength training, okay, and in that strength training, you don't actually understand why you are doing it and what is it going to make you better, we don't do that. We cut that out of the program. Okay? So my coaches at home have to answer, every time we do programming, have to answer a bunch of questions from me and have to have answers to it. I will go, why that exercise? They have to have an answer. Why that rep range? They have to have an answer. Why that rest? They have to have an answer. Everything has to have an answer to it. Okay? You must know exactly why you're doing something and what the purpose is and how is it going to make them better. Okay? And the last one, pillar number 3, optimize recovery to maximize your results. Who knows about recovery? Yeah. What's your understanding?
Basically it's a period of time when after you've been injured.
can be after you're injured, it can just be after training. So, at the end of the day, guys, every time you swim, do you get better or worse?
Better.
Everyone can answer this question.
Worse.
Why better?
Because you're like doing it more often.
Yep. Why worse? You just went with the other side, didn't you? Yeah, cool. You actually get worse. Every time you jump in the water and you swim, you get worse. From the moment you get in the water and start training, you will start getting worse.
Because you get really hard.
Yes. Because fatigue starts building up. Okay? Now, how do we get better? After we finish training, we then go into recovery. And your body then goes, wow, that session was hard. I now need to make my body better, stronger, fitter, faster. So next time I do that training session, it won't be as hard. And I'll be able to manage it. That is a basic principle of how your body functions and how you get better over time. What do you think happens if you do not allow your body enough time to recover?
Overtraining and you get injured.
You continue to get worse. Because your body hasn't had the opportunity to get better yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why I spend more time on that nowadays than I do on this. Not this one, that one. I spend more time working with athletes on how we can get that better because everyone trains. I don't have a problem with people training. I have a problem with people doing training sessions and not being able to recover from those training sessions most of the times. Yeah.
Which pillar is the best?
Well, number one, that's why it's pillar number one, because without that, it's pretty useless everything. Yeah.
How long does it take you to recover?
Very much depends on what you did. It's not really like a linear answer. I can't say it's like 5 hours or something like that, yeah? What I can tell you though, is if you want to recover better, you need to focus on getting enough sleep, hydrating yourself effectively, so making sure you rehydrate yourself, and then getting enough food in. Okay? I'm not going to talk to you about food. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not going to talk to you about hydration. I'm not a dietitian. Sleep, however, if you're not getting 8 hours of sleep, you're probably in the red. 7 to 8 hours for you guys is like the bare minimum. You probably should be getting more.
As teenagers, they need more.
Yeah, they probably should be getting more. Yeah.
You get like 10.
You get 10?
Yeah, around that.
Oh, that's amazing.
10 hours.
How do you manage 10 hours?
Oh, because I sleep
Give me a high five
at
properly.
7:30.
Oh, good. So do I sometimes when the kids go to
Why
sleep.
are you walking?
Okay, we've talked about what we base our programming on now, yeah? Here is the 3 essentials that we go with. And it's going to sound quite familiar to you guys based on what we talked about in dry land, yeah? Range of motion. Remember the warm-up?
Yep.
Joint centration. Fancy pants way of saying stabilizing joints. Okay? And then we develop force. That's you going to the gym and building strength. Does that make sense? That's our process of making these things work for you guys and why we make strength training work for a lot of people. It makes sense to everybody. I'm not losing people on this presentation today. Great work. Then this is how we make them better swimmers. Okay? We use that force generation to make them stronger. So we build strength. Okay? And this is how we make swimming specific training. We then give them exercises like jumping, throwing, pulling down with speed, doing pull-ups at speed, all those things that are close to swimming, but aren't actually swimming. Okay? And then we make them swim. Not necessarily all at one time. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
That is the process of specific training for swimming. Okay? So, we don't have people using their bands in the gym and pulling through. Okay? But we do get them to throw a ball down really, really fast. Why do you think that is? Yeah.
Because the ball helps, I guess, with the dive.
No, it's the acceleration through your arm.
Or that. Oh, because using my bands, I guess, recover stretching, but using the ball is actually hanging.
No.
Oh.
I love the enthusiasm though. Keep questioning and keep doing that. You'll go far in life if you keep that kind of mentality going. Okay? Don't be afraid to say the wrong thing. Here's an easy example for you guys. Okay? Who does a pull-up? Can anyone do a pull-up? Most of you guys can do pull-ups. Some of you guys can if you can't do pull-ups, don't worry about it. A lot of the guys I work with can't do pull-ups. We still get them stronger. They still swim fast. Okay? Joycey Page, who just won Port to Puff, she can't do a pull-up. It's that swim from the mainland to Rottnest. That isn't the Rottnest Channel swim.
Oh.
It's 25 kilometres.
Ow.
She's also the record holder for the swim.
That's such fun.
Yeah? She can't do a pull-up most of the year. It's only a very short time in the window of the season that she can do a pull-up.
The
Most of the time
mental
she
feel
can't.
extremely much better.
Okay.
Or not better.
So, girls, boys, if you can't do a pull-up, you're not going to be a crap swimmer. Okay? Aim to get to a pull-up, because that means you got stronger. Okay? But sometimes you're just not going to get there, and that's okay. Alright? Say you did a pull-up. That's our general strength. We are building strength in a pull-down mechanic. Make sense? We then do a ball slam. We have a ball up here and we throw it down. We are mimicking the speed of a stroke in the water and a general movement pattern. Make sense? Because holding a ball up here and throwing down is pretty similar to having your arm up here and going like that. Make sense? And then you swim. And you put your arm above your head and you pull down. Do you understand how that works? Does that make sense to everybody? Excellent. Cool. We just did that bit. And that's this presentation for today. Guys, does everyone understand that? Everyone have questions? I rushed through that one because we didn't have a lot of time. I normally waffle a lot on that one. Anyone have any questions? About strength training in general. This is your opportunity to ask me whatever you like. I'm going to sit down. Actually, can I have the club chair?
Yes, of course.
Am I allowed a chair? Woo-hoo. If I scoot along on the chair, will I get in trouble?
Yes.
We'll see.
Do it. Nah, don't.
She's mildly scary, isn't she? Alright, question time. Who's got questions? No one's got any questions about strength training at all.
Can I just ask Ryan
Yeah.
a question?
Hang on, let me just get your camera back on me, because that's important.
Oh, yeah, it's looking at me. Oh.
Hello, Ryan. We're back. Questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the gym, would it be better to do high reps or low reps?
That would depend on what you're trying to achieve. Are you trying to get stronger or are you trying to build more muscle?
Stronger.
Stronger, you probably want to have a lower rep range because you want to develop more force per rep. Okay? So, general rules around. Has that whiteboard got a pen?
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
other side.
Yes.
Wicked. Is it not orange or green?
Well, we
Orange
can-
will do. Scoot, guys.
Doesn't work.
We can offer you orange or green.
Oh,
That's okay. Orange or green will have to work.
That one doesn't work.
I don't think that will.
Yeah,
Iron,
Whoa.
That was a bit hectic.
It's purple.
Purple's close to black. That'll work. It's not because I have a preference in colours. It's just normally they show up.
Oh, no, it's...
It's a permanent.
Let's not use that. Eh?
No.
All right. Here we go.
Come. Now you need to go.
Okay.
You sure?
Basics on rep ranges for what you want to develop, okay? You have your 1 to 4, and about 4 to 8, and then you'll have your 8 to 12, and then you'll have your 12 plus, okay? What do you think this one will do?
More
Power, yeah. If I spell something wrong, please don't tease me. I've been teased all my life for not being able to spell. What do you reckon this one's about? We've talked about it a lot today. Strength.
Yeah.
This would be your strength range. What do you reckon this one's at? More muscle building, your hypertrophy.
Oh.
They call it hypertrophy, we'll just say build muscle.
I'm on fire.
Okay? And then this one. Strength, speed, what's the other thing that you normally have? Yep. Endurance. Yeah. So let's go with endurance here. This is what people teach you, right? Okay? The problem with this is, it is correct. It is correct. However, it's slightly like, people like these rigid rules for everything, right? Because it makes them feel like they understand it completely. The fact of the matter is, if you have a rigid rule for something, you probably don't understand it completely, okay? This will be more powered focused. That will be more strength focused. That would be more muscle building focused. And that would be more endurance focused. Okay? However, this is where it gets interesting. If you do strength training work, you'll also get power. If you do strength training work, you'll also build muscle. If you do strength training work, you'll also do endurance.
So you do 4 days.
No? Just let me go. If you do power work, you'll still build strength. If you do power work, you'll still build muscle. If you do power, you'll still get endurance. Okay? If you build muscle, you'll probably gain some strength. If you build muscle, you'll probably build some power. If you build muscle, you'll probably build some endurance. Okay? And the same for all the other ones. Okay? Why do you think that is? Yeah.
They all affect each other.
Yeah, because everything affects everything. Okay? However, this one will more likely build power than this one. Okay? And if you're doing 12 reps or something, you're probably doing a lot of reps for a lot of period of time. You're building longer bits of fatigue, right? However, that's why endurance is there. But, for example, if I could do 1 rep of something, but that rep takes me 60 seconds, do you think I'm still building power?
No. Oh, no.
Nah,
That's too long.
because it's the duration of the time that matters more. Because your muscles can't count. Okay? Your muscles cannot count. Your muscles are going to experience stimulus over time. Okay? So, you exerting force over time. Does that make sense to you guys? Anyone not understand that? I need to explain it a different way. It's pretty important. Okay? So for example, you could do 12 reps, but it could take you 5 seconds to do it. I don't know how you do that, but you could. I'd probably see, to be fair, wall slams. Or overhead wall throws is something that we do a lot. It's a very short movement, okay? It's a power exercise for us, but we generally do it for 10 to 20 reps. But it'll take us under 10 seconds to do it. Does that make sense? Still very power focused, but we've got endurance. We've hit the endurance rep range. Does that make sense? This is why these rules aren't solid. But to go back to your actual question, to keep it simple, if you're looking to build power, stay here, and you'll also need to have rest for that. Okay? Because it's not just one side of the equation. There are both sides. What did we talk about it before? What's the most important part that I keep telling you guys about? Recovery. If you're not recovering enough from the outage that you put in for power, because it's got your highest output per rep, okay? If you don't recover from that, will you get the power benefit from it? No. You'll probably start training something like this or that, because they work in those ranges. How much rest do you guys think you need for power?
Isn't it like every 1 second work is 6 seconds rest?
Yeah, like you taught the ratio, yeah? Yeah, there's a rough ratio. Well, they don't, again, there's no absolute rules, so 1 to 6, 1 to 5 is a pretty good ratio to be going off. 1 to 6, 1 to 5. However, the more trained you are, the longer you need to recover because you can put more power down. So, for example, for someone like you, who's very young, not got a huge training age, you could probably do power and so let's make it a swimming example. You can do a dive max 15, okay, and then probably walk back around and get back up and do it straight away.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you probably have the same amount of output.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have the physical and neurological capacity, big word there, but brain power, to be able to get to a level where you need that much to recover. Big man, on the other hand, how long have you been training for?
A while.
A while. Probably done a fair bit of swim work. He'll probably do a dive max 15 and might need, 4 minutes to 5 minutes to recover from it.
Really?
Well, maybe not that long, but like for example, 3 minutes to recover from it. How long would it take you to do 15 meters on a dive max?
Like
10,
15
like
or 15?
12, 10, under 10 seconds?
Yeah, probably.
Around under 10?
Freestyle?
Oh, yeah, whichever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It should probably take you under 10 seconds to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah? Under 10 seconds and you get 3 minutes rest. Is that 1 to 6?
That's 1 to 30, no.
That's 1 to a lot.
That's 15
Does that make sense?
to 6.
Okay? This is where this stuff like really kind of gets. You can't just have base rules for things because he needs way more recovery than he does. But if we say it's a 1 to 5 ratio, he's then got to get straight back up after under a minute worth of rest, he's probably still plugging. Yeah?
Why?
Because he can put way more output down per stroke than you can. And that's not an effort thing, that's just he is trained to do so. Does that make sense?
Why is that?
I know that was a bit of a tangent, but does that make sense to you guys and did you get something out of that?
Yes.
This applies to your stuff in the water as well. These are principles that apply. You what? I don't know. I didn't design the shoes. Any other questions? It can be on that. It can be on something completely different. Anyone want to talk about recovery or anything like that? You've got to ask the questions though, because I don't know what you all know. I don't know what you guys know, so.
No questions at all.
Why not? So when you do the dry land warm up,
Yeah,
is it straight into the pool or like 1 minute and then get into
I would probably do the warm up. I would get your gear. I would listen to your coach explain the warm up, and then I'll be diving straight in.
Those 5
straight
minutes.
in?
Yeah.
Ah,
If you're standing around for 5 minutes afterwards,
no, not 5, it's like 1 or 2.
1 to 2, you're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. We're warmed up. Your warm up's not going to go away. If you go to a competition, right, you'll do a warm up and then you'll sit marching for a bit, right? Yeah. And you're probably not saying you're cold, or you're not ready to go still, right? You've got time, but I wouldn't come here an hour early, do your dry land warm up, and then spend 45 minutes sitting on your phone, because then you will not be ready to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anything else? I don't have no idea what the time is, so.
No.
It's 7:26.
7:26.
So we've got 4 minutes.
Let's play a game.
No.
No.
Let's ask some questions so they can answer and be really smart. Like a Friday or just before school.
I've got a game of 3.
Sweet. Next question. Come on. Yeah.
What's your favourite colour?
My favourite colour?
Yeah.
It's blue.
Why?
I don't know, I like it.
Why do you like it?
Let's keep the questions around the topic that I've come here for. Yeah.
Why do you choose to go for it?
Why did I choose to coach swimming? That's a good question. I choose to coach swimming because I found it very interesting when I was a swimmer myself.
Why?
I was going to get into that. Thank you for your constant probing. I found it really interesting while I was doing it because I got very interested into stroke mechanics and stuff like that, so I can improve my own swimming. And that's what led me down to swim coaching. Because I thought my brain went, I want to be. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I wanted to be the best in the world when I was swimming. That was my goal. I want to go to the Olympics. I want gold medals. I want world records. That was me. I got busted up a fair bit, so I never really got that far. May not have had the talent for it either, but that was my desire, and that's what I believed I could achieve. Okay? To do that, I wanted to learn everything I could about swimming. I wanted to know what stroke was supposed to happen. I wanted to ask questions of my coaches in respectful ways. I wanted to know what other things I could be doing that other people aren't doing. When I was swimming, strength conditioning for swimming was not a thing. Okay? Lifting weights for swimming was not a thing. there was some people doing it, but they wasn't doing it very well, and there was a lot of standing on a balance board trying to pretend that you're doing something. Okay? So I was like, how can we do this better? What are other sports doing? How can we take concepts from other sports that are very successful, have a lot of money behind them, and apply that to swimming? And I went and found those people. So I found coaches in Perth, I found mentors in S&C over East, I found mentors in the UK, and I just started absorbing all this knowledge about it. And then I started doing some practical coaching because I learned really well actually doing stuff myself, rather than just reading and like asking questions. I really learned from doing. That's why I started coaching, and that's why I kept coaching. And that led me into S&C. Yeah.
Do you do other sports with your...
Not anymore.
Do you use it?
Do I swim?
Do you use it? Like coaching sports?
I used to do S&C for other sports, yes, but I don't find it as interesting, so I dropped it.
Footy?
I have done footy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. What's your favourite stroke?
Breaststroke.
No, I don't like that.
What's my PB for what?
50 breaststroke.
50 breaststroke. Short course or long course?
Long course.
Long course 29.
Short course.
Short course 28.
Oh, what the hell?
Huh?
I know someone faster than
Dylan?
Congratulations. What was that 200 time?
Oh, the 200 time?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Because I was at 214.
Oh jeez.
200 breaststroke short course.
Wow.
Oh no, actually I was 208 short course, I was 214 long course. My 100 breaststroke wasn't very good. I used to PB in my 100 and my 200. My 50 also not very good. That 28 was a bit of a fluke. The 29 was also very much a fluke. Yeah.
I like 30 breaststroke.
You do? Congratulations. I think it's a great event. I got a national time in it last year
I do not like breaststroke.
Oh.
because that was
Still
training.
swimming.
No, well not last year, 2 years ago, I had a little, I want to do masters, and I want to go. I retired from swimming, not by my own personal choice. I got so injured, I got pulled out of the sport, realistically. I had a sport doctor tell me, hey look, you're taking way more anti-inflammatories than you're supposed to, your body's pretty broken, it's probably time to pull the pin. So that's why I stopped swimming. I was pretty sick of getting injured every 16 weeks. I'd had an ACL done, that wasn't done through swimming, that was done through touch rugby, but I've done my MCL about 5 times, and I've also got no discs in my back, like from about there up from all the breaststroke extension. This is what can happen to you if you become a crazy person and chase things, okay? So I got retired, so I started feeling good again and pretty pain-free about 5 years after I left the sport. That's how long it took me, about 6 years. So I was like, I'm going to give this another go. I want to qualify for nationals. No goals other than that, just want to qualify for nationals. Qualified for nationals, broke my wrist, ride my bike to work, and had a kid. So I decided I'm probably done. That was my last time I qualified for nationals. Anything else? Any other questions?
Sorry, we're cutting it pretty fine.
You can all leave. Everyone done? Thank you very much for having me. As I said, I like to be here.
From earlier.
So I'll see you all later. Thanks, mate. If you got any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Oh wow.
Look, the camera's
Thanks for that. That was like the main question I had.
Which one?